Welcome back. Okay, I just reminded myself. Okay, what we need to do is if we want to enable input for our actor, for this particular actor. Oops, didn't want to do that. Yeah, we just want to grab that one. And you see we've got our player character here. So that's the one who we're interacting with. There's another class. If we come back into, come back into here, you'll see we have a player controller class as well. That's the one that controls input. So we have a player controller which controls input for what we call the default pawn class or the player character class. So what we're going to do, it's very easy to get a reference to that. All we need to do is get character, get player controller. We grab that one. We're only having a single player game, so just player index 0 is fine. Return value, we just pop that straight into there. Connect that up. That's all fine. We'll keep printing out the name just so we know this is all succeeding, which is great. So what we've done is we've set it up so that we're now sensing input from our character, from the player controller that's controlling our character. So we didn't have to do this to do this, but it's nice to sort of have that. We're going to use this a little bit later anyway. So we've got our player controller. All well and good, but at this point in time, we also need to tell our blueprint what to listen for. So we're going to be listening for input. What are we actually interested in? What we can do here is if I just right click on the background here, and I want to go down to the input section here. It's one of the first times we've actually gone through it into the input, into the different sections. So right down to I, go to input, get input, and then go down to keyboard events. And then I'm just going to go and find my favorite interactive key, which is the E key. And we've got a couple of options here, pressed or released. We can also detect which key it was if we want to. That's a little bit more. We're not going to worry about that at the moment. We know it's the E key. And I'm just going to print string. And why don't we just print E exclamation. So if that works, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going into our trigger volume, our trigger box. We're going to be checking whether it is a character, so we're not sort of detecting something else. So maybe it could be a projectile or something other than, or it could even be an NPC if we had them in there. We're keeping a reference to our player character. We're enabling input from our player controller. And then we're just going to print that string, just the name of the object, which we're doing before. And then we're enabling input, and we're going to be able to detect, see if we're hitting the E string. So we just compile, save, hit that. And let's come around here. We'll go into our volume. So BP first person character, we know that's gone in. If I hit the E key now, hey, there we go. So we're now interacting with this blueprint class, with this actor blueprint class. So at the moment, even if we go all the way over here and we hit E, we're still interacting with that class. So we need to make it, what we want to do is just say, when I'm in this proximity, I want to interact with this particular blueprint. So I think you can probably guess what we need to do is on component end overlap is disable our input. So let's just move this out of the way. And disable input right there. Again, we've got our player controller, so let's go and grab that. And oh, there we go. That's nice to do. So we can actually copy that, and let's just go on. And we have to do hit Control V to paste because I can't right click. And we just pop that in there. It's good practice to test whether it is actually the first person character doing this. Still got our other actor, so let's just grab these. Control C, Control V, and the other actor. And you notice I copied the print string as well because we always want to test whether this works. We're going to disable input there. And maybe let's just grab another print string. Just Control D to duplicate. And just say left volume. So now things, we'll just actually let's test that, and I'll come back and we'll talk about something else in a minute. All right, so at the moment, fantastic. Go through, we enter here, so if we turn that, yeah, there we go, first person character. If we hit E, like so. Now if we move out of that volume, we left the volume, we're hitting E again, and we're no longer interacting with that actor, which is exactly what we want. Now, before we go and add any more functionality into here, if you have a look at what we've got here, things are starting to get a little bit messy. So what we can do, just to make it a little bit easier to read, is if I move that up. Now if I hit the C key, C for character, it goes and puts a nice little box around there, and begin overlap, and I can give that a name. And then I can grab these ones and I can hit C again and say end overlap. And I might grab this one, C again, interact. And if I want to even be more, you know, have more definition, I can give these a color as well. So like I might give that one, I don't know, some sort of purple. Give this one maybe turquoise or something like that, and give this one something closer to like a green. How you want to organize these is up to you. That's how you want to do it. And compile, and then that's all fine. So now we can drag these around as well. So we can grab these once you've created. This is a comment box. You can then drag all of this around. So what we want to have happening when we hit the interact key, we actually want to change the intensity. So what we can do, there's a couple of different ways to do this. So what's a good way to approach this? I mean, we can kind of keep this one. There is a nice, easy node, we call this. So we drag off this, and we have this thing called a flip flop. Okay. Now what this does, if I go A and B, and we can drag this out so it's surrounding all of our all of the visual code we've got, like so. Let's maybe move that there. So what should happen now is when I hit E, it is going to, first time, it will set A. So this is our maximum intensity. And then if I hit it again, it'll set B, which is our start intensity. If I go and do it again, it'll go back to A. So it basically just goes around in a circle doing A and B. So let's compile that. What else have we got up here? Yeah, this is all good, fine at the moment. So let's come into here, play. And then if we come into here, okay, E turns it on, turns it off, on and off. If I turn it on and leave the volume, I can no longer interact. So that's all well and good. That's great. So we've got some interaction going on with our blueprint actors. Control by proximity. So I come in here again, I can turn it on and off. So pretty easy way to go and control these things. The last thing I think we will look at is a way to actually tell. At the moment, we're not giving the character or the player any way to tell what key, or they're not getting any idea that there's actually the ability to do anything in here. So they have to guess that they can interact, and we're not telling them how they're going to interact. So we need to solve that one. We'll do that next.